In this series, we look at some of the pragmatics and practicalities around the implementation of artificial intelligence, AI, using proven business practices on a risk-based approach. The sessions so far, we have mentioned the importance of education from universities, trades, through schools and industry certifications, with the need for skilling, the ability to do, and training, the how to do, is required. The need for government policy to support and resource for the required skill sets is noted, including having teachers able to train and support the ongoing changes. The need for a skilled workforce to make the transition, the ongoing support and skilling of the emerging resources around rapidly changing technology and dynamic business environment is required. The business opportunities from changes to skill sets and the importance of overseas resources are also required. From the expected use of artificial intelligence in education, through the educational institutions making changes to their operations, the teaching and the advisory services around AI, significant impacts are expected. Let's get into it. Educational. The need for a skilled workforce supporting the required changes in skills and meeting the ongoing demand are recurring themes within the adoption and adaptation to artificial intelligence, AI. The need for resources to research, design, develop, test, operations and services, consume, manage, and assure is also identified. The role of government policy with education to address across schools, industry accreditation and certification, trades and universities is part of the transformation. The need for skilled resources to teach as necessary is also required. Some of the educational aspects around artificial intelligence are positioning for emerging opportunities. Starting point are some sweeping motherhood statements in that a skilled workforce across the business is required, which will evolve its skills as artificial intelligence, AI, is progressively integrated. The need is research, design, develop, test, operations and services, consume, manage, and assure. A combined effort from schools, trades, university, and industry with government policy is required in an overall emergent behavior to support needs. Although industry-specific areas are omitted from the diagram, like AI in manufacturing or in agricultural production or logistics, the skilled resources within these areas are also required alongside those noted. The role of AI across business and the diversity of roles and skills and expertise required is seen, from provision of infrastructure and cloud services through operational and support to supporting services to the consumption between machines for direct operations. The need for educational services is seen. The need for professional skills like people management, financial management, vendor management, relationship management, strategy and planning, risk management, project management, problem solving, management of change in the business, management of ambiguity, governance, compliance management, cross-disciplinary collaboration, and communications and presentation to support the adoption and adaptation is also required. Meeting the demands for skilling, ability to do, training, the how to do, the accreditation and certification, the ongoing uplift of skills is a shared responsibility and a collective effort. Educational services across society. The four main areas of education beyond the home are the schools, the trades institutions, the industry-specific skills and training, and universities, whether public or privately funded. The emergent behaviour from these areas, linked with government policy, is how the required resources with skill sets, which will evolve over time, is achieved. Schools, like computers, mobile devices, and the internet being part of the life of schools, so it will be with AI. Across the grades and areas of learning, AI will become integrated to teaching and the management of schools. AI is more than the learning of coding, though coding skills are required. It is the use of AI in art design through to the societal impacts to the importance of data and data management. New teaching approaches, curriculum changes, as well as support and administration service revisions are set to be seen. Trades. The trades institutions are faced with changing their own operations around AI, as well as revising accreditations and certifications to include AI. There is both the software and the use of the software for which skilling is required. An area for consideration is the use of the bureau model to share the cost of accreditations and certifications. In an industry sector, the players come together to provide shared and support services through a bureau model to the industry, which also assures quality, supports overall industry skill levels, eases the transfer of labour across markets, as well as supporting both small, medium and larger business. An example is food standards. Industry. The bureau model can also be applied within industry related to the support and shared services, as well as with channel partners. The areas of licensing and certification is also an area for change around AI. Universities. These are an obvious area for change, with changes to their own operations, to teaching, to research and development, as well as the advisory services to government, business and community. The application of AI is across the areas, not just technology, with business degrees impacted, as well as the societal research of the impacts from AI. Having the teachers and instructors skilled, as well as the mentoring and support network, is all part of the transition. Addressing the digital divide is part of assuring access for self-empowered development and transition. The educational response is an integrated approach, but our own responsibilities are important to successful outcomes. Resourcing and skilling for artificial intelligence. Managing the educational aspect is more than creating courses and selling them, whether it is industry specific or universities seeking revenue from overseas students. Varying with player, industry, sector, size, type, market, location, country, and regulatory, amongst others, the overall AI education is an emergent opportunity driven by the economics of markets, costs, customers, regulatory, vested interests, and incumbency. Aspects to address include students and immigration. Migrants can offer a skilled resource base together with the students who come from overseas to study. Competition will influence aspects of these, but areas of policy include recognition of the accreditations enabling the transfer of resources, managing the demand for resources, skills, and people, working with the professions and professional organizations for better management of skills and development paths. Industry transfers. The ability to transfer across industries and sectors is often a restriction that applies. An example is a network engineer transferring from the oil and gas sector to the finance sector may face challenges in recognition of skills. The barrier is set to be an issue with AI. Returning to workforce. Whether it is taking time out with children, taking time to care for family, or career changes, the returning to the workforce often brings challenges. One of the main areas is around the skill sets. Often it is the transferable skills and the professional skills that are of more importance. The balance between a technology focus versus the wider business integration and management is also of consideration. Addressing some of these restrictions is part of the education for AI. Aged workers. Similar to other areas discussed, there are aspects around managing older workers and their role in the workforce. Some are skilled in the use and application of technology, whilst others would need some skilling and training. It is the diversity of skills and competing expertise which is needed for the AI transformation. It is how this is managed and the education achieved where the focus is often required. Education for artificial intelligence. In making the transition around artificial intelligence and for the ongoing support, the business leaders, the policy makers, and the heads of organizations will shape overall objectives and strategy to then implement against them as per proven business practices. The overall trend is the move from the provision, management, and assurance of technology to the provision, management, and assurance of information to support the automated operations. The automation of knowledge worker services like tax or legal or audit are considered, but it could be manufacturing or agriculture. This trend requires the education for products, services, and regulatory, amongst others. The technology, data, and operations, skilling, training, accreditation, and certification. The balance of run the business while changing the business is necessary, and education for this is also required. The education is about an overall capacity and capability for an emergent behavior. This is likely to encompass exercises and scenarios for skilling, the ability to do, and training the how to do. The provision of help and support from support network, the use of testing and sandpits for the required development with a focus on processes and operation. The education is across the roles for research, design, develop, test, operations and services, consume, manage, and assure. The education is an outcomes-focused solution using a risk-based approach. AI is used within the education, and the education provides the skills and resources for the management of AI. Education within AI roles. Across the industry sector, education is required for the research, design, develop, test, operations and services, consume, manage, and assure roles. Consider the use of AI within agriculture, and let's focus on the factory warehouse operations for food export. This industry is known for its leadership in AI and within its automation, data analytics, imaging, and logistics. Please see link details in the comments below. Research. The industry has its research in different areas which is then applied. AI is used in the research, and the use of AI is researched. Design. The research is commercialized and applied in the design. Develop. The solutions are developed for the industry. Test. The solutions are tested for performance, operations, integration, functionality, and end-to-end services. AI is part of the testing, in the modeling, in the results analysis, and in the ongoing monitoring. Operations and services. The operations and services are part of the educational need around the management with AI. Consume. The main area is the use for producing food. Manage. Education is needed in the management of all aspects. This includes the use of AI embedded within software used across the supply chain. Assure. The need for assurance across the industry is seen from quality controls on production to accreditation and certification of operations and people. Agriculture is just one example of the approach and the diversity of roles and related education around the use of AI. The pilot and autopilot model carries across with creation for the first time, intervene when things go wrong, assure outcomes and manage stakeholders, with the routine operations being increasingly automated. Educational. May this series be of value. Thank you for your time. Please share with others. Feel free to subscribe and add your comments. May you realize the benefits of AI for your needs.